Have you ever wondered why, with the current fashion for tattoos, some people categorically refuse to get even a single dot on their bodies? You may think that it is simply a fear of pain, conservatism, or just plain indifference. But the truth is much deeper. Refusing to get a tattoo is not a lack of choice, it is a clear psychological position. Today we will analyze 4 types of personalities who consciously choose clear skin. Watch until the end, because the last type is the most inconspicuous, and perhaps it is you. The first type is people who may have hundreds of saved sketches on Pinterest, but will never get to the salon. These are perfectionists. For them, a tattoo is an exam in which it is impossible to get 100 points. Psychologically, such people experience a paralyzing fear of making a mistake. They think, what if the line is a millimeter off? What if the paint floats in 10 years? What if I find a better artist next week? For a perfectionist, any imperfection on the body is not history, but an eternal source of irritation. Their standards are so high that clean skin is the only way for them to maintain control over their own sense of perfection. The second type is free spirits. These are people whose life is a constant movement and transformation. For them, tattoos are not an ornament, but an anchor that keeps them in the past. The psychology here is simple. They hate limitations. Today they are passionate about Buddhism. Tomorrow, quantum physics. And the day after tomorrow, they move to another country. The drawing that was relevant at 20 seems like a cage to them at 25. For the free spirit, the body is a blank canvas that should reflect their fluidity. They choose the freedom to change their identity every day, not reporting to a drawing made 5 years ago. The third type of people often remains incomprehensible to fans of tattoo culture. These are those who experience a strong aesthetic aversion. It is not about morality or religion. Psychologically, these people perceive tattoos as visual noise. For them, the human body in its natural state is a perfect work of art. Any paint under the skin seems to them like dirt, chaos, or something alien. They value the purity of lines and anatomical harmony. If you look at a professional tattoo, and instead of admiration you feel a subconscious desire to erase it, you belong to this type. Your sense of order simply does not fit with the concept of a permanent drawing. And finally, the fourth and most interesting type is the personal believers. These are people with an extremely stable internal support. Why do people usually get tattoos? To declare their values, remind themselves of an important event, or demonstrate their belonging to a group. But personal believers do not need external markers. Their identity is not written on their skin. It is lived out through their actions, thoughts, and choices. Psychologically, they are so confident in their I that they do not need to prove anything to the world or to themselves through visual symbols. Their authenticity is quiet but unwavering. For them, tattoos are an unnecessary explanation. They don't need to explain what's already visible in how they live. So, clear skin is not a lack of imagination. It can be a manifesto of your freedom, your aspiration for the ideal, or a testimony of a deep inner confidence. Which type do you belong to? Maybe you are a perfectionist who is still looking for the perfect sketch, or a free soul who does not tolerate shackles? Write in the comments your type number 5 if your reason is different. And remember, your body is your territory, and only you decide whether illustrations are needed on it.